Hey guys and gals, it's me, your old buddy Mr. Moose, back with another edition of Farming Simulator 2015. So today we're back on our map, Paradise Hills, and we are on day 2 of our planting with the soul mod installed. So yeah, it's Saturday morning. It's about 6:34 in the morning. And today we need to get a little bit of herbicide in the fields so that we can stop the weed growth. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Now we're going to do it a little bit different. Normally I would get the big sprayer back there in the back and I would go out and take it into the field and do the sprayings. But if you recall, a couple of fields I was going to need to add an additional coating of PK into the field. Now because it's going to rain today, I want to put as little bit of moisture on the fields as possible, because for every hour that it rains, we're going to pick up an additional 14% of moisture on the fields. So I really don't want to put too much moisture into the field. So that's why I'm going to do things a little bit different today. So we got the little John Deere here ready to go, and I'm going to pull up right over here. And I'm going to drop the front weight off of it because I'm not going to need it. As we're going to use a little bit different piece of equipment to spray with today. I went on Reaper's Facebook page where he's got all his mods listed a while back. And I downloaded pretty much everything he had John Deere. And one of the things he's done is he's converted this stock in-game Amazon sprayer, the one that's 24 meters. He's converted it over to a John Deere theme. So that's what we're going to use to spray today. It's basically the stock sprayer, though, from in the game. So there's nothing really special about the mod. It's just, John Deere green has a John Deere logo on it. So it matches the theme we're going for on this particular map. So we'll back up to this, hook up to it. There we go. I get you all set up, and we'll head over to the fertilizer tank and we'll fill up everything. And this way will be 24 meters on this. The dry sprayer is 26, but that's all right. There'll be a little bit of overlap on the dry, but the most important thing is we'll be able to use the same set of tram lines from this tractor on both applications. So let's get up here to the trigger so that we can fill up. We'll switch the front tank and fill it up also at the same time. Get everything filling. Come on, front tank, fill up. Back tank is full. Oh, come on, behave. Alright, fill up. Alright, that one's full. Then we switch to the front. And why is the front tank not filling up? Do I need to back up a little bit? Ah, there we go. So we get that tank filled up. So that gives us 6,000 liters of spray that we're going to do. Now, I've never used this particular setup to spray in Soul Mod. So I'm going to assume that I need to set my front tank to BB, as well as my back tank as well. Set it up for BB. There we go. And we should be good. Wait, the back tank was on MPK. There we go. Set the back to BB as well. And we should be good. Why BB? Well, we're going to be spraying barley, which is a cereal. And as far as your pesticide or herbicides go in the game, you have A, B, and C. A will kill off your cereals, which are, your wheat, barley, oats, things of that nature. B kills off canola and maize or corn and a few other things. And then C kills off your root vegetables like your potatoes and sugar beets, as well as I think soybean it kills off. So anyway, so for us, we're spraying wheat, barley, oats. Those are all killed off by A, so we can use B or C to spray the field. And then we're going to be spraying sugar beets later on. C kills the sugar beets, so we can spray A or B on there. So the common fertilizer between all of them is B, so that's the reason why I chose B to spray in the field, because that'll give us the best all-around spray. And again, I'm trying to keep it somewhat realistic. I wouldn't want to have to hose out all my equipment and purge everything out just to change the herbicide in it. So that's the reason why. All right, so I want to bring up I'm trying to sit here and think about what I'm doing. I want to bring up my GPS here, and I'll go ahead and set up auto width for it. That's going to give me 24.9 meters on it. I think that's about right, even though this game says it's 24 meters. 24.9 seems about right. Adjust it out so that it's right on the edge of the field. And we should be about ready to go spray. Now, before we do spray, there's one thing I wanted to show you guys. And that has to do with the grid that we saw in the field when we originally set this up. Let me see if I can find it. Well, it's gone away. We'll find it. Wait, is it that? Nope. The grid pattern that has miraculously disappeared now. It was here a little while ago. Oh well. Weird. So, you guys remember when I first put the soul mod in, I talked about the grid that was on the field and how it showed up. There are times when I go walk through the field, that grid has nothing there. There is no fruit at all where that grid is. There are other times I'll come through and it's like right now. You don't even see the grid. I do see a little bit of it right up there. We'll see if we run into it as we're spraying the field, and I'll show you something. If we do, I'll show you something interesting about it. But anyways, so we're going to spray BB. We'll lock in here. And again, by using this tractor and setup, I'll be able to run through it once and spray my herbicide. Then I'll be able to come back with a dry application of PK to boost our PK level. Because if you look at our information for soil mod down the bottom, our field pH is at 6.8. Our soil moisture is at 43. Now we're adding 14% to it right now, but that'll be negated at midnight because you're going to use 14% in moisture for the day's growth. So that'll be negated, but then again, we're going to get a lot of rain, and that's going to boost it up anyway. So, but nitrogen is great. We're at 8. We're going to use a bit of that. We're going to be around 4 or 5 when this field is done. It looked like that might have been one of those seams. I don't know. It's weird. I don't see them. They were real prominent earlier, and then I closed out and restarted the server. And now they're suddenly gone again, so that's quite interesting to me. But our PK level is down around 2, so I need to boost that PK level up. So I will put on an application of dry PK. That'll give us 3 more units of PK. That'll bring us up to 5. So we should be pretty close. Again, optimal is... optimal settings on this is I believe 6.7 for the pH. You want your nitrogen to be at 5. Your phosphorus or PK, you want that to be at 4. So that's what we're shooting for anyways. Alright, let's roll her around here. Lock up, and we'll go ahead and spray again, and we'll keep her going. So anyways, last night no live stream, but I am going to put up an archive of Monday night where we did potatoes for you guys to watch. But yeah, no live stream last night. The reason for that, just some health issues that got in the way. had to go to the doctor and had to spend most of the day at the doctor. Didn't get home last night until like I was 7:30, almost 8 o'clock when I got home. So that just didn't work for me to do a live stream because at that point most of the people who watch the streams probably were having to head to bed. So I just chose not to do one, and hopefully we'll get back into it tonight. I don't really have any plans for this evening, so we should be good. And I didn't really plan on that. It's one of those things where I say I try to stream every night, but life does get in the way, and yesterday life got in the way. So sorry about that, but we will try to get back into it again tonight. See how it goes, right? It's frustrating for me because I'm trying to get back on a regular schedule, get a couple of videos out a day, and trying to get a live stream in every evening, and then something like that happens. It's just kind of like, but what do you do? What do you do? You can't control everything. Alright, so we'll get our spraying done here. And when we get to the end of this field, we'll whip around. I got plenty of headland or plenty of skirt on this field, so there's no need for me to like spray the headlands and then go up and down the fields. So that's the reason why I'm just going all the way to the edge. Now if the trees were a little bit closer, if we didn't have as much skirt around the field, I would do it differently. But with this sprayer being only 24 meters wide, I should be able to make all my turns and not have any issues. If I was using the bigger sprayer, the 44 or the 42, I guess it is. I think it's actually 43. If I were using, use your words. If I was using it, then I might actually spray the headlands or the perimeter and then come down and run all my lines at that point. So, but for this application, or this particular go-round, we're going to be in good shape, and we should be able just to go to the end of the field, shut her off, make a turn, come back around. All right. So, what's happening? Hope you guys enjoyed the little presentation on cattle and crops yesterday. It was short, brief. It was really just to let you guys know a little information, because it was nice to finally get some idea as when they were going to release that game, because I know everybody was thinking it was going to come out this year, before the end of the year. And yeah, we sort of had been realizing that wasn't going to happen for a while, but now that you definitively see that their target date for the Kickstarter program for their Kickstarters to get it is March, that gives you a little bit better ballpark figure as to where that game is and when you might be seeing it for yourself to give it a play. There's going to be a lot of farming programs this year for you, and you probably should do a little looking into all of them, unless you've got plenty of money to throw at video games, because you're going to have several games competing for your farm sim dollar in the next 6 months. Of course, within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you've got Farm Sim 17 coming out, and we already know what we're getting with it because we've played the Farm Sim franchise for quite a while. So you pretty much have a real good idea of what you're getting when you get a Farm Sim product. Cattle and crops, not so much. We're still in the dark on that one. I'm hoping to get early access to it so that I can showcase it to you guys. If not, I will be part of the Kickstarter program. I did go ahead and contribute a little bit of money to their program so I could get into the alpha release of it, or the early access release of it when it comes out in March. You know, what can I say? It's for me, that's sort of an investment in this channel. It's not so much my belief in their game as much as it is the game looks good, it looks quality, and I know you guys are going to want to see the gameplay. So I went ahead and invested a little money into the program so that would ensure that I have some early access to it, so that I can go ahead and get some videos cooked out for you guys, so you can see what the gameplay is and figure out whether it's a game that's right for you. With that in mind, you've got Farm Sim 17 coming up. You've got Cattle and Crops coming up in March. And there's another game that I haven't really talked about. It's been on my radar for a little bit of time now, and I've been looking into it. It's scheduled to come out first quarter of 2007. I don't know if that means spring, but I'm guessing it is. I'm guessing it'll be out in the spring of 2017. They're quite a bit along with it, but I've seen some alpha gameplay of it, and they were at GamesCon and showcasing it there. The game is called Pure Farming 17, and as far as the game goes, it is probably the most well-rounded farm sim game that is going to come out in the next 6 months. It has a little bit of everything in it. You got your agriculture and your arable farming. You've got fruits and the ability to plant trees, olives in it. You're going to be able to raise cattle in there, livestock. There's greenhouses involved in it. Vehicles have maintenance involved in it. You're going to have to, like, daily check your vehicle for lubricants, as well as, you know, there's nuts and bolts that can loosen up, so you're going to have to tighten them up and maintain your equipment. That's going to play a huge factor in the game. It's farm sim incorporating the fruit mods, the damage mod, the soul mod, all of that into one game, which is really cool. The gameplay I've seen so far looks all right, but I don't know, it doesn't seem as polished as like Farm Sim does, but that could be because it's alpha and it hasn't really evolved yet. We'll see. They have a lot of licenses for machinery. It seems like, though, it's a lot of the licenses like Farm Expert has, like McCormick and people like that. However, they do have Mitsubishi involved in it, so that's interesting. But that one will be out, and like I said, it as far as they go, it seems like the most well-rounded. You know, the agriculture is going to have a soul mod-esque touch to it, as far as you're going to have to adjust your soil's pH and fertilization and moisture content. You're going to have to water. They have like all kinds of different equipment in it, as far as sprayers. You can do sprinkler systems in it. Specialized equipment for whatever you're doing. It's also got regional gameplay in it that's pretty interesting. I think it's based in 3 different regions of the world. I think Montana is one, somewhere in Italy is another, and I think Japan is the third. And the equipment that you use in each of those locations is going to be regionalized. It's going to be equipment that is unique to that area, and not so much where you'll have some piece of machinery in Montana that you would never get, you know, that is used in the farm in Italy. It's not going to be available to you on your farm in Montana. So it's pretty interesting. A lot of different gameplay cycles in it as well. They have the ability for you to go in and like sandbox, where you can just do whatever you want to. You can give yourself some money and go out and do whatever you want to. They've got like a challenge state, or a mission state, where the game will set up a mission for you where it'll say, like, produce famine conditions right now, produce X amount of potatoes in this amount of time, and by the way, we're in a drought, you know, and see if you can do it. And it'll really, you know, see if you can get that many potatoes grown even though you're in a drought, or what was one of the other ones I saw, or you'll be challenged to like grow a certain number of things for a particular supplier will want you to, supply them with so much of this or that. So it was pretty interesting just reading through all of their comments and what they've got planned. Like I said, it seems like a pretty cool. The third stage of that is I think what is their challenge stage, and that is for you to actually go in. I just noticed I don't have anything listed for what's spraying. Let's verify that this is spraying B still. It is. I think it's because we've gone to the front tank now and the back tank is empty, that it's not showing us. But yeah, we're on BB still, so we're good to go. Got 1,000 liters left. We had 6,000 and we've made a few passes. I should be able to get up the field again. I kind of feel like I'm gonna have to reload, but I don't know for sure. We'll see. It is ticking away pretty quick. Might get to the other end, but we might not get anywhere else. So anyways, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of farm games out there that will compete for your farm sim dollar this year. And of course you got the Farm Expert that came out, but it's already out, and that's one of those. And I hate to say it, and I don't want to be mean, because I do like a lot of things they're doing. I don't really think Farm Expert is up to the quality of like a farm sim. Even though they got some really neat things in there, I think they're still 2 steps behind. They have a lot of good ideas. They have a lot of good things that they have implemented into the game, but the gameplay itself just isn't as smooth and as up to the quality that if you're a farm sim guy, that is going to get you to step away from farm sim and go play Farm Expert. I think if you'd never seen any other farm game and you jumped into Farm Expert, you'd have a great time and you'd be like, wow, this is really neat. But because if you've played other farm games like Farm Sim 15, as polished as it looks and the graphics are in it and the gameplay in it, I think you would be like, nah, I'm not really that interested in it. That's sort of where I'm at with it. I like a lot of the things in there, and I've told you guys that. I like the fact that they've got the fruit in there and animal husbandry and some of the things that they've incorporated in the tractors, like the gearbox and stuff of that nature. But the gameplay itself is just, it's not what I'm used to in Farm Sim, and it's hard to overcome that because I'm wanting that smooth that smooth gameplay, and I'm not getting it. Alright, so we are just about out of liquid, so we are going to have to refill. Yeah, let's fold her up and we will run back up to the farm and refill real quick. I could bring a tanker down here and refill, but it's going to be just as fast for me to run up the field and go grab a refill real quick. So yeah, speaking of how wide these skirts are, I think what I'm going to do for mowing on this is mow these skirts to get grass. Because there's plenty of room. You can make 2 or 3 passes around each field and then windrow it up and collect all that grass up. And that to me also is a little bit more realistic than planting a huge field of grass. Though if we were a hay farmer, like One Lonely Farmer or whatever, we would probably, we'd be planting big hay fields. But for an arable farmer who's also got some cattle on his farm and getting straw and hay together, a lot of those guys plant like strips in between their crop, and that's where they cut their, like they'll plant alfalfa in rows throughout their crops and that's where they get their alfalfa or get their grasses from. So I think that's what we'll do on this particular field is we'll sort of pretend that the skirts are planted in alfalfa or something like that, and that's where we'll get our goodies from. All right, so I need to great demand at the pig zone. Pay considerable high price for pigs. Offer last another 6 hours. I don't have any pigs, so I can't pay you, or I can't get paid. Let's put it that way. All right. That thing full? Doesn't hold a whole lot, does it? All right, so let's pull up just a hair, and we'll switch to the back. Switch it over. Oh, we don't have to. We can just refill it. All right. All right, we are filled up. Let's get out of here. Let's back her up just a little bit. And we'll roll her on around. There we go. We'll remember to switch everything over, so we need to go back to double B on that tank. And we'll switch the front tank to double B as well. There we go. Alright, and we'll head on out, so we can go do our spraying some more. And we'll switch to our back tank. And pull back into our field. And the nice thing is we can see by the tram lines where we've already where we've already gone in here and sprayed. That's where we left off at. So this is where we need to pick up at. All right. So we'll catch that row, turn on that sprayer, and we'll get to going across the field. So yeah, I want to get all these fields sprayed before the rain comes. The rain's going to be an issue. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, we're at 43% on all the fields as far as soil moisture. So this application of moisture will be negated by the nighttime growth. So if there were no rain coming in today, this field on day 3 would be at 43%. But with the rain coming in, every hour that it rains, it's going to pop up that percentage. Now, I've had mixed results with this. I've played on Manchester before with a soul mod in and been like 43%. It rains for 5 hours. According to the documents on that, that's 70% water that should be added to the field, but it only like turned out around 75 or 80%. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect until it actually rains, and see what we get. But if it rains for, if it goes up 14% every time it rains for an hour, and we get 4 hours of rain, then these fields are going to be sloppy wet. And I'm just not going to have the time to dry them out. So they're going to be a high moisture content on all of them, because we've only got 2 more days, and each of those days temperature wise is going to be pretty low. I think like around 19°C. And as you guys know, with the soul mod, you use 14% of moisture every day for growth. And then if the weather temperature is over 22°C, you'll use an additional 14%, because it's a hot day and you'll have some evaporation in the field. So if it were, ultimately you would want 2 days of 24, 25 degree weather after the rain to dry the field out. But again, if we take a look at it, well, again, here's one thing about this game. As I say, I don't have any hot days. I got 2 hot days right now. But keep in mind, weather in this game isn't consistent. Though if it says it's going to rain, it's going to rain pretty much. But the temperatures that you get day to day fluctuate based on when you start the game up. I've started the game up before and had 19C for both days. Come back, stop the game, restart the game, and you have it at 25, 26 like it is now. Stop the game, restart it, and you could get 21 and 18 or something. It's as far as the temperatures seem to fluctuate quite a bit, so maybe I'll get lucky and I could force it. I could just keep restarting the server and get different temperatures until I'm happy with it, but maybe we'll get lucky and the 25, 26 will stick around and it can rain and we can dry it out, because that would be great. Then we use, in 2 days, if we had those temperatures that we have right now, 25, 26, we'd end up using 4 units of water up. And that would be just golden for us. I mean, that would use, what, 64 units of water? So if it rained for 5 or 6 hours, we'd be in good shape. Alright, we got one last little bit of spray that needs to happen. We'll come over here and we'll spray, and our grass will get a little weed preventative in it. The weed preventative doesn't do anything to the grass, so we don't have to worry about that. Just give a little moisture to this area. Oh, are we going to hit that tree? Oh, we got by it. All right, and I chose to come out here in the grass because I didn't want to put any more tram lines in the field. If I wanted to keep the field balanced or whatever, I could have stayed in there and cut another set of tram lines, but in all honesty, I don't really want any more tram lines. I would love to have a sprayer in this game where you could shut the left side off and only spray off the right side of it, or only unfold one side and only spray out that side. That would be awesome. I don't know if that exists in real life, but it would be cool if that was something you could do. And say, okay, well, I only want to spray off of the right side of the tractor. I'm only going to unfold the right side sprayers, and I'm only going to spray off of that side. I'm sure they've got a diverter valve or something that you could put on one to where you only spray off one side. One would have to think that is available. On today's newer equipment. Excuse me. Matter of fact, I think on the new John Deere, you are available to like even program like which spray heads open up. I think you're actually able to program on them, like say every other head comes on instead of all of them coming on to spray. If I remember right. So that way you could spray, like if you were doing something that had huge gaps in between them, maybe like strawberries, that you were only spraying on the strawberries that you wanted to spray. It seems like that's a thing. It seems like I was watching some video on it one day and they were touting that. Don't quote me on that, though. Not 100% on it. Alright, so that gets our wet application for the field done. And we can roll back over here to the farm and we can change up. And I'll leave this tractor rigged up because we're going to have to do the same thing over on the sugar beet field. We're going to have to do the same wet-dry application over there as we've done here. So this field is taken care of. And we are good to go. Well, excuse me, wet application. I got to put the dry on there. Can't get ahead of myself. All right. So we'll head back up here to the farm and we'll grab another tractor. And we'll put the wet application in. I mean the dry application in. I know what I'm thinking. I'm just saying something completely different. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this map. It's just a lot to do on this map. I'm not doing the same thing every single day. It's been a lot of pleasure getting on here and playing with it. So I'm gonna pull this tractor right here for now. Just park it. I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna go grab another 7. I've stopped using the 8s except for plowing and stuff, or heavy stuff, because they have the 8s have a crop damage on the tires. They have crop destruction on the tires where the 7s don't. So I can run the 7s around and ride through the grass and not damage the grass. And seeing as I'm gonna want to go cut the grass, of course the grass is going to regrow every 6 hours, so it's not that big a deal to use the 8s. But unless I'm if I'm like gonna mow the grass anytime soon, I don't want to do it with the 8. I don't want to run the 8s out in the field and get the grass cut down or knocked down. So that's the reason why I'm tending to use the 7s more than anything. And you know, a 7 series tractor is just great. That's what I have. You can do a tremendous amount of work with it, and you don't have to you really don't need anything bigger unless you're doing some really big stuff. But a 7 should do just about everything that you need, especially depending on what series you have, what motor you have. So for the things we're doing, a 7 series tractor would be just perfect. Plowing, if you had a real huge plow, you might want an 8 series, but all right, let's go ahead and hook up here. And again, we're gonna go fill up, and then we'll select PK as our fertilizer. And then we'll go spray. All right, go ahead and refill that up. Very cute. All right, so we got that filled up. There we go. And we'll head out to the field, and I'll go ahead and switch that over to PK. There we go. And we're ready to roll. So back down to the field we go. We'll use the exact same GPS settings that we used before. And that way we're following the exact same lines. There'll be a little bit of an overlap again because this thing does spray 26 meters versus the 24. But I'll take that. It's not going to matter in the field, so. Alright, so. I'm just trying to think real quick. Can you put down a fertilizer and a weed preventative at the exact same time? Seems like I got conflicting information on that. All right, we've got herbicide B down right now. So what we'll do is we'll do a test swath. We'll drive this route. Just turn our GPS back on. And why did my GPS reset? Oh, I'm in a different tractor. Duh. So we did 24.9 is what we did, right? So we need to set this up for 24.9. 24.3, 24.8, 24.9. There we go. Flip that course around. Get rid of the offset. Drag her down here to the edge of the field. Yeah, come on down. And, yeah. Get that to the edge of the field there. Hopefully we get everything set right. That looks good. That should be right. Alright, so I didn't get this onto the GPS right off the beginning here. Even if we're not perfect, we're close enough. There we go. Looks like we're close enough. Good, good, good. Alright, I'm going to stop right here, turn that off, jump out the tractor, come back behind me and make sure we're not erasing our herbicide. Alright, so I got a little PK down on the field. I don't see any change in the PK, but that might change in the evening. Because I don't think it changes immediately. It changes after you plow it in or once you reach midnight. So we'll go ahead and spray. We're not getting rid of the herbicide, so that's the big thing. All right, so turn that back on and we'll roll and get her done. And we'll just watch our path here and make sure that we're covering the field and not taking any more crop out. If we have to adjust it a little bit, we can adjust it down the field just a little bit. Again, we got a little overlap, so we got a little room to maneuver here. Matter of fact, let's go ahead. I'll pull that up. It seems like we're off just a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how that does. Silly me. I guess I could run up and go copy the course of that other tractor. Didn't even think about that, changing tractors. And that is shut off. Make our turn. There we go. Hit her again. Alright, this will be the real test. As long as we don't take out any more crop, and it looks like we're not going to. So it looked pretty good. Looks alright. I'm gonna go with it. And we'll ride her across the field and get this done. So I gotta do this field, and then I'll drop down and take this tractor and the other one down to the lower 40, or I'll take it down to the southwest corner of the field, or southeast corner of the fields, and I'll spray those fields down there and get them done. That's where we've got the oats and the sugar beets planted. So I bring up the map down here in 12 and 13 down at the bottom. So I gotta get those sprayed. And I'll get those done a little bit later on. I won't record that. I think you guys, one spraying video is enough for you, right? But trust me, there'll be a lot of spraying as we play on this map with the soul mod on there. But yeah, I'll get that done and then we'll go through the rain. And what I'll try to do is we'll make a note of where the fields were prior to the rain, and then I'll show you guys after the rain exactly what we ended up with as far as moisture content. rotate around. There we go. Come on into the field. I have a tendency to shut that thing off a little bit too early when I come out of the field, just because I forget how far behind the broadcaster is on it. Yeah, I know this looks wrong, but the tram lines don't always show up right where you drive. So it seems like everything's pretty good right now. So what I really ought to be doing is saving courses and saving the courses for these. We'll work on that. And then I have to leave some notes for everybody else as far as the status of this particular field. And that's the big challenge with doing soul mod for me on a server like this. Now most of the time, Chris and Hemi, when they get on, they pretty much get on when I'm on here. Now Chris has been getting on some in the mornings and playing. But there's a few other people that I've invited onto the server as well, Recon being one of them, that they might not be on here when I'm on, and they might want to do some stuff. So leaving them notes so we can communicate what stage the field's in is a real challenge. I could do it in Discord. My issue with that is, and it's the same issue with leaving notes in the game, is people got to read the notes for them to be effective. And that's one of the reasons I've held off on doing soul mod on the public server over on States version 11 is people don't read the notes. As a matter of fact, I think somebody got on and deleted all the notes off of the server, because I got on the day before yesterday, and all the notes that I had typed out regarding, you know, there was a welcome statement with some rules on there. They're all gone. And I had done some stuff on some field statuses and, you know, not to plow under the grass on a couple of the fields, and all that stuff's been deleted. And I don't know if somebody went in there and did that maliciously and did it on purpose, or if that's just something that glitched out in the game and they all got deleted. I'm not real sure. I don't know for any certainty. My mind is blown right now over this whole grid thing. The lines were here. I got on the server and I actually already sprayed field 1. And then I realized, oh yeah, man, I need to put PK down on field 2. So I stopped and did a couple of things. And I thought about adding another mod onto the server, but I decided not to. And so I did restart the server, and then I said, well, you know what, I'm going to record a video on fertilizing. And so I started the video, and I came down here and the lines are gone. Because yeah, I had already walked down here and looked at the field. Well, I drove down here with the big John Deere sprayer is what I did. I sprayed 1. I drove down here with the big John Deere sprayer and was like, oh yeah, if I spray this, then I don't have a mod in that matches this one, and I need to do the PK, and I only want 1 set of tram lines in the field, because look at all the growth that's not here because of these grid lines. And I thought, man, that's going to really lessen the amount of crop we get out of the field with the tram lines, as well as those big huge grid lines. And it was odd because the grids were laid out. There was no crop in the grid line, but there was there were weeds growing in those lines. So maybe it's just a graphical overlay or something that's messing up. Maybe they're actually there. I don't know. It totally has blown my mind now, because like I said, I stopped, I turned around, I took the other tractor and parked it, and then what I was gonna do was shut the server down, and I've got a broadcast feeder, or a broadcast sprayer that will match the actual width of that 43. I've got a 42 sprayer that I could have loaded in and used it. Then I just kind of, after thinking about it, it's like, nah, you know what? I'll do it with a smaller set of sprayers that are already on the server. I don't have to load any more mods. So I just restarted the server and came back in. And in that restart, those grid lines disappeared. So I'm at a loss, because I was like, oh, I'll be able to show those grid lines to everybody and what happened when everything actually grew, and show that I don't have any crop here. And then as I got ready to show you and tell you about it, it was gone. It's magic. Speaking of gone, oops. I didn't mean to do that. That's not what I wanted to do there, kids. Let's turn off our grid lines and get rid of that. And I'm going to take a screenshot here, so I got a little something for my thumbnail. There we go. And we'll keep on spraying. Alright, one of those will work. And then I can go back and turn the line back on, so I can see what I'm doing. Alright. So we'll finish up this field, and that'll about be our video for today. And while I'm thinking about it, if you enjoy this video, help me out and smash that like button. I don't ask that enough. I was in this little YouTube consultation the other day, and they're like, you know, you really don't ask people to like your video enough. You should ask them within the first 20 seconds of doing your video. You should say, hi, welcome to the video, like my video. And I'm like, really? That's like going a waiter going, hi, welcome, can I have a tip? And I'm like, that's sort of rude, isn't it? You know, and you know, so they're like, oh, you need to ask for a like at this point and punch your subscriptions at least 3 times during a video. And I'm like, no, that might work for PewDiePie or somebody, but not me. That's not who I am. But if you enjoy the videos, guys, help me out, like the video, and if you're enjoying the channel, subscribe to the video or subscribe to the channel. It'd be great to have you as part of the herd. All right. Now that I've done that, and if I was Jillian Hassan, I'd be like, and buy my book, and also have some t-shirts available, and you can buy those as well. How about a coffee cup? Would you like one of those? So I mentioned it a little bit in my live stream on Tuesday night. I fell sucker to the whole WikiLeaks 10th anniversary press conference. I was up doing a few things on the computer. Thought, you know what? I'm gonna flip over, because it started at 3 a.m. my time, right? I was like, I'm up, I'm doing a few things on the computer. Why don't I flip on here and just watch this, and in case he really has something interesting to say that is about corruption or something, I'd like to actually see it instead of reading somebody else's account of it. So I'll just edit another video and I'll stay up and watch it. Oh man, it was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Worst press conference ever. It looked like they picked some dive bar in the middle of Germany to do it out of, or some like hip swank coffee house with, you know, bad lighting and a video screen. And I knew right then when it came out, I was like, this is really low budget. This, seriously, they can't be announcing some major earth-shattering information at a dark, seedy coffee house. But yeah, they had like an hour-long presentation before Julian Assange even got on TV to do his, you know, satellite or Skype appearance on it because he feared for his life. You know, that was the whole thing. He was going to do it there via Skype because instead of announcing it from the embassy in London, because he had credible threats to his life or fear for his life. And then he gets on there and goes, oh, well, you know, if we were, I've seen on the internet that people believe I have some sort of major announcement that's going to affect the election in the U.S. Rest assured that if I was doing that, I wouldn't do it at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Really? Holy shnikes, we've all been had. But again, it was a great ploy by him to get everybody to stick around and watch his horrible press conference at 3 o'clock in the morning. But my question is, does that damage his credibility? To me, it does. I mean, he's been pretty good as a whistleblower by using other people's stuff and blowing the whistle on stuff, and you got to give him credit on that, like it or not, what they've been doing. And when they've put stuff out, it tends to be, you know, legit stuff. But when you cry wolf like that to get people to watch your press conference, it sort of makes people, I don't know, you lose a little bit of credibility there. That would be like saying, I've got damaging and incriminating evidence about candidate A. They once took a pack of bubble gum and didn't pay for it. That's not really damaging and credible, but you gotta, it's sort of clickbaitish, you know? All right. Rolling along in our little Amazon. How do we get no tram lines down through here? And look, there's some tram lines. See how the tram lines don't necessarily match up though to where the wheels are going? That's the way tram lines are in this. The funny thing about the tram lines in this, or the crop destruction, quote unquote, in this is the tractor runs over it and completely destroys every bit of the crop. That doesn't necessarily happen either in real life. There's stuff growing where your tram lines are usually in the field. Your tractor pretty much gets engulfed by everything. But you've stunted the growth of stuff. But on wheat, barley, things of that nature, there's still some vegetation down there. It's not just all complete barren dirt. But I'll take what they gave us in Farm Sim versus what they could have done, where there was like, they cut out everywhere that the tractor went, like the entire thing was gone. That would be funny to see. All right, so we get this little bit of PK sprayed to finish up here, and we are good to go. And with that said, I see that we've reached our time limit on this video because we're right at an hour. And I know how much y'all hate that I do hour-long videos, but it is what it is. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I think in the next one we'll probably start, you know, it'll be raining or whatever. In the next series, we'll probably start setting the dairy up and getting some cattle in there, or doing some more grass mowing to start getting a little bit of grass, as we still have 2 more days of growth on these fields before we can harvest. So hope you'll come back, hope you'll watch the next episode. Until then, stay safe, have yourself a great day, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you consider giving it a like, maybe even sharing it with your friends. It does help me out a tremendous amount and is greatly appreciated. Also, leave some comments down below. That's really the only way I can gauge if you guys are enjoying what's being put out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want daily notifications. I try to do a new video each and every day. Also, if you want to stay in touch with me and find out what's going on, our social links are down in the bottom left-hand corner. Twitter is where I usually announce schedule changes, live streams, and new video releases. Facebook's a great way to get in touch with me if you have any questions to ask. And of course, I am trying to get to 1,000 followers on Google+, which I know I'll probably be old and gray before that happens. But if you can jump over there and follow me, it would be super awesome. So if you like today's video, there's a whole lot more content on the channel. I hope you'll browse through it, find something to keep yourself entertained until the next video or live stream. Speaking of live streams, I try to do them nightly around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time, thanks again for watching. See you soon.